Namaste, namaste all.
Namaste.
Welcome to this Global Oneness Festival, yet another morning session on Manisha Panchakam. Let me start the session by chanting few mantras. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahanavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhate Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. I will introduce Swamini Sadvidyananda ji for today's lecture. Swamini Sadvidyananda ji Saraswati is a disciple of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, a great exponent of Vedanta and Hindu scriptures. She is teaching Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads in Gujarati in different towns of Gujarat like Navsari, Bardoli, Valsad, Bilimora, Vyara and Bhavnagar for the last 25 years under the banner of her trust, Arsha Vidya Tirtha, Navsari. She has translated and published more than 37 books of her revered Guru Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji into Gujarati. From 1998 to 2003, she also translated voluminous book of 2000 pages on Bhagavad Gita, Gita Home Study into Gujarati for benefit of those who can understand better in one's own mother tongue language. She has also attended and presented papers in various conferences such as National Education Conferences in Pune, Gwalior, Sri Vidya International Conference, Mysore, Namami Shankar, Bhashya Parayanam, Kanyakumari, Vedanta Conference Rishikesh, etc. Today's subject is Manisha Panchakam. Over to you, Pujya Swamini Sadvidyananda ji Saraswati. Please start your lecture.
Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishade Bhavarogina Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Gnanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. In the last session, we already saw that this Manisha Panchakam is a multifaceted stotra. And Shankaracharya ji is showing his conviction that who is Guru and what is the quality of the Guru. So we saw Chandalostu Satudvijostu Guru Rittesha Manisha Mama. This is my very firm conviction, Manisha, that he is the Guru whether he has a body of Chandala or body of Dvija. But if he has this recognition of the self, then he is my Guru. So we saw the first slok. Now we'll go to the second one. Idanim Yajurveda Upanishad Gata Aham Brahmasmiti Mahavakyartham Abhivarnayati. As I said in last lecture, that These first four verses are the Mahavakya of the each Veda. So last time what we saw was a Rigveda Pragnanam Brahma. That is a Mahavakya was given. Now here Aham Brahmasmi iti Yajurved Vakya jo hai, that is what we are going to see in the second verse. So through this Mahavakya, Shankaracharya is showing the very clear vision of the Guru. And so here what is the vision of the Guru? So this second verse is talking about Aham Brahmasmi. That's why I start with Brahma eva Ahamidam. We'll chant the verse first. Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha, Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha, Sakalam chinmatra vistaridam, Sakalam chinmatra vistaridam, Sarvam chaitad vidyaya trigunaya, Sarvam chaitad vidya tetad avidyaya trigunaya, Shesham maya kalpitam, Shesham maya kalpitam, Ittam yasya dradamatihi, Ittam yasya dradamatihi, Sukhatare nitye pare nirmale, Sukhatare nitye pare nirmale, Chandalostu satudvijostu, Chandalostu satudvijostu, Gururittesha manisha mama, Gururittesha manisha mama. Shankaracharya says, Ittam yasya dradamatihi. One who has these firm convictions. Drada matihi, matihi means knowledge, understanding, recognition. And there, what drada matihi means very firm conviction is there. I'm not using the word knowledge, understand here. I'm telling drada means conviction. Whole Vedanta is meant to make you convinced that you are Brahman. Understand? You are not going to become Brahman. You are not Sansari at all. That's why what you think about yourself is very important. And therefore, what do you think about yourself? Same thing here, Shankaracharya says, the person who has this recognition of the self, Dradamatihi, Ittam means this type of the understanding about the self. What is that understanding? Brahma eva aham idam jagatcha sakalam. Aham eva Brahma. I am Brahman. Brahman means Satchidananda Brahma eva ahamasmi. Now, I am Brahman when I say, what does it mean? Idam jagatcha sakalam. And not only I am Brahman, the whole creation also is Brahman. Sakalam jagat. Sakalam means every nama rupa. Every nama, every rupa, every forms, every names. Understand? Everything is Brahman. Sakalam, Jagatcha. Okay, this Jagat is Brahman. But how this Jagat has come up into the being? Who created this Brahman? Chinmatra Vistaritam. Beautiful, understand? It is being Vistaritam, projected. Vistaritam means not Vistar when we say, generally we say expansion. Here it's not expansion, understand? Most of the Vedantic word, we cannot take the meaning from the dictionary. Vistaritam means that which is being expanded. That is the dictionary meaning. But here we cannot take dictionary meaning. Vistaritam means projected, abhivyakta. Understand? Vistaritam, abhivyakta. So entire world is being projected, being manifested. Chinmatrena. Understand? The whole Jagat is being created from the projected, manifested from the Chaitanya. It is being sustained by the Chaitanya and it is being destroyed unto Chaitanya. And therefore, Vistaritam means Shrushti, Sthiti, Samhara. All three we have to take. So, Vistaritam. But then you are telling that this Chaitanya is a Nirvikari Chaitanya. Nirvikari Chaitanya cannot be the Karana. Because there is a very simple law is there. Karya Vinashi and Karana is a Nirvikari. Until and unless there is a certain type of the modification is there in the cause, it cannot become the Karya. Though we say Mruttiketeva Satyam, but in the Mruttika, in the clay, there is a changes are there. Modification is there. Previously, it was in the form of the Pinda. Now it is in the form of the pot. Pindakar Mruttika is now Ghatakar Mruttika. Suvarna, when we say Suvarna Pinda is there, now it is in the form of the chain. It is in the form of the Kangana, bangle. Understand? So therefore, Karana is a Vikari. There is a certain types of the Vikara modification is required. Then only there is a Karya. And the Karya is being born. We say Karya is Vinashi. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh. That which is born, that which is created is going to get destroyed. And therefore, Karya is Vinashi and Karana is Vikari. Now when you say Chinmatra Vistaritam, then Chaitanya is a Nirvikari. If Chaitanya is Nirvikari, how it's going to be projected as this world? Understand? Because this world, what we say, is a Nama Rupa. It is Jada. Understand? Between the world and between the consciousness, there is no matching. Jagat is Sagun Sakar Savikari. Chinmatra Swarupa Brahma is Nirguna Nirakar Nirvikari. So, how this Nirgun Nirvikari Nirakar Chaitanyam, which is Brahman, can become the Jagat? There is no way, understand? Nirgun cannot become Sagun and Sagun cannot become Nirgun. And therefore, Kena Vistaritham, understand? How is going to be? Sarvam Chayet Avidyaya Trigunaya. So Shankaracharya says, Sarvam, everything here what you see, it is Avidyaya Trigunaya. Avidya. We already saw that knowledge and the ignorance. The ignorance is destroyed by the knowledge. Simple. But there are two types of the ignorances are there. One is the ignorance of the something which is other than the self. And the knowledge of the self, ignorance of the self. Understand? If I don't know Tamil language, that is also ignorance. But that ignorance doesn't create any problem in my life. Understand this. I can manage without learning Tamil. I can manage in Tamil Nadu without knowing Tamil Nadu. Understand? I can manage in the world without knowing English also. Understand? So the knowledge, ignorance of the anything other than the self doesn't create any problem. But this is the ignorance of the self. And therefore, in Gita also Bhagavan says, Agnanena avrutam gnanam tena muhyanti jantava. This avidya is not a simple avidya. Understand? It creates the moha. Moha means what? Moh vaichitya. Moha means that which is there we don't see. And that which is not there, we see it. Moh vaichitya. Understand? Though everything is here, Sakalam idam jagata Brahma eva, entire creation is Brahman only. We don't see it. And this Nama Rupa, which is not there, we see it. Understand? That which is we don't see. Or we see it differently, opposite, Viparita. Though Brahman is Nirgun Nirakar, we see this Sagun Sakar Jagat, opposite. Understand? And therefore, Bhagavan says this agnanam, this avidya is not a simple avidya. This avidya doesn't sit quietly. It creates the moha, wrong understanding about the self, wrong understanding about the world. Moha is not only for the self understanding, it is about the world also. How we look at this world, how we look at this body, understand? And therefore, this is not a simple avidya. It is avidya which has created what? Maya kalpitam. Understand? This whole creation is being created. Not only that, what is the moha? From the standpoint of the self, when we say moha, I am Brahman. Aham Brahma eva asmi. But there is a moha. Dehoham, pranoham, manoham, buddhiham. Understand? So that means we have superimposed something on ourselves. The superimposition is there. And that superimposition also is called moha. Adhyasa, we have adhyaropita. Understand? So this avidya is not sitting quietly. It creates this whole creation, and also it creates the moha in our mind. And therefore, avidyaya. And what is the quality of this avidya? Here avidya means maya, understand? In the Shastra, avidya and maya are used as a synonyms. But in general parlance, avidya means the individual ignorance also is called avidya. And maya is a Ishwar Shakti. Maya Shakti Kalpitam. Understand? So here avidya means maya. Understand? And that maya is what? Trigunaya maya vidyaya. Sesham maya kalpitam. So, because of this, avidya means because of the ignorance, and that maya is a trigunatmika maya. Deivihesha gunamayi mama maya duratya gunamayi. Understand? So, maya has a three guna. And because of this three guna of the maya, this jagat also is trigunatmika jagat. Understand? Trigunatmika jagat is there because the cause is maya. Understand? And therefore, sarvam jagat trigunaya, trigunatmikaya, avidyaya. But why do you say maya? Why don't you say Ishwar created this world? This also is a big confusion. Why? Because maya itself doesn't work. Maya itself is a vikari. Yad vikari tan mithya. That which is the constantly modifying cannot be the satya, because satya is a nirvikari. Shankaracharya gives beautiful vakhya, understand definition. Yadrupam nishchita tadrupam navyabhicharati iti sat. Yadrupam nishchitam tadrupam vyabhicharati iti asat mithya. Understand? And therefore, this is Trigunatmika avidya maya is there, which is constantly changing. And therefore, we say that because of this avidya, this whole projection of the world is there. And so, what is this maya? There is a nice story is there. That there was a businessman. He had three sons. And before he died, he had his will. And in the will, whatever is, there are two types of the property, the sthavara, jangama, moving, immovable, movable, immovable. Understand? Immovable property like a land or bungalow, all these things we can write. But movable property, when we say horses are there, elephants are there, cows are there, they're changing. Understand? So he cannot write on the will that there are 25 cows are there, because he doesn't know when he's going to die. So what he has to say? So he has to say either percentage or the number. And the number he can't say. Now, in the will, he has written that I have elephants, and half of the elephant I am giving to my youngest son. 1/3 of the elephant I am giving to my middle son. Understand? And 1/9 of the elephant I am giving to my eldest son. Now, this is what he has written. When he died, there were 17 elephants. 17. 17 is a non-dividable. Understand? You cannot divide 17. Understand? Avibhajita Sankhya it is called. Now, everything was clear. Everything was divided nicely. Now, 17 elephants were there. You cannot make the half of it. You cannot make it 1/6 of it. Understand? You cannot make it 1/3 also, 1/9, nothing. Undividable. So, from long time, this quarrel was going. And then youngest son was, the eldest one was telling, 1/9 is given to me. Why don't you give one to me? Understand? One more. Then you manage. Then the youngest one said, no, 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 no. I want half of it. Half of the elephant also I won't give. So it was a daily issue. It became the daily issue in the house. So one day when they were quarreling, they were arguing with each other, backside of the house where the elephants were there. And behind the wall of the house, there was a road, main road. And this, the minister of the king, sitting on his elephant, was going there. And he heard this quarreling, arguing. So arguments, so he asked one of the people, those who are walking around, what's going on? Why they're arguing going on? Why they are quarreling? Then that man said, we don't know. Every day we are listening to this here. The elephants are there and something is there, we don't know. But something is there with reference to this elephant, some quarrel is there. So then he knocked the door and they opened. He entered there in that land. He saw, as sitting on the elephant, he saw there are elephants are there. All these ministers, they are very sharp. As he entered, he counted how many elephants are there. And then he asked, what's going on? Why are you quarreling? Oh, our father has written this kind of the will, and then we have 17 undivided land. So what, we don't know what to do. This minister said, okay, you take my elephant. Now you count. Now you have 18 elephants. Then this, no, we don't want your elephant. No, we will manage something, but we don't. He said, no, you don't worry about it. You take my elephant. Now you have 18 elephants. Now you divide it between you. So now when you are dividing 18, half for the youngest one, so half, the youngest one got the 9. Understand? Then 1/3. So middle one is getting the 1/3. Okay, you divide this 18 into 1/3. So that is a 6. 6 3s are 18. So youngest one got the 9. This one got the 6. Understand this? Then this another one, eldest one. Okay, you need the 1/9. 1/9 means what? 9 2s are 18. Okay, so he got the 2. He said, okay, you count. The youngest one got the 9. 9 plus 6. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 2, 17. He said, okay, done. Said, okay, I'm taking my elephant back and I'm going. Understand? This is called Maya. You add it, you resolve your solution and remove. My minister added his elephant, he resolved the issue, and then he moved away. Similarly, this Maya is the 18th elephant. Why? Because between Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvikari Brahman and Sagun, Sakar, Savikari Jagat, we need in between something. And that is called Maya. Understand? This Maya, it's called Avidya and what? Kalpitam. Understand? So, this entire creation is kalpitam. Kalpitam is superimposed, not imagined, understand? That's why I say don't go for the dictionary meaning. If you go for the dictionary meaning,
I think we lost her. Some internet problem. Hello? Koti, can you hear me?
so the entire creation, the whole creation is projected through the Maya. Now, another thing we have to understand here is avidya word. Understand properly. Avidyaya kalpitam, when we say, what is avidyaya kalpitam? Anything which is created because of avidya. At the time of the experience also, it's called pratiti kala in Sanskrit. At the time of the experience also, the object is not there. Exactly like a rajju sarpa. And when the person is frightened, his whole body is shivering, and his heartbeats are increased. He is full of fear. He ran away. He hit his forehead on the door. And why? Because of the fear. So when all these things are seen in his body, in his mind, in his eyes, so fears are seen there. But the sarpa, because of which there is a fear in his mind, when he is experiencing the snake, is there snake? No. Understand? When he is experiencing this fear, when he is seeing the snake there is no snake. Why? Avidyaya kalpitam. Because of the ignorance of the rajju, the rope, there is a creation of the snake. Understand? And therefore, kalpitam means though you are experiencing something, it is not there. It's exactly like a sunrise and sunset. It's exactly like the nilima, the blueness of the sky. It's exactly like the mrugajala, mirage water. You see it, but it's not there. Understand? And therefore, we have to understand that anything which is being created because of avidya, even when you are experiencing, it is not there. Therefore, in Gita, Bhagavan says, asataha bhavaha na vidyate. This is my favorite verse, I'm telling you. Excellent verse. Asat. Already we saw that which is modifying all the time, it is called asat, mithya. Bhagavan says that the asat, mithya doesn't exist. Bhavaha, existence. There is no existence of this mithya. Though you are experiencing pot, though you are using pot, it's called artha kriya karitvam. Name pot is there, object pot is there, you use the pot to fill the water, pot is being created, understand? Rachitam. Still we can say there is no pot. Similarly, here also same thing. Understand? Sa echa etad avidyaya trigunaya sa shesham maya kalpitam. So the person who has this understanding that everything is being created from me, created by me. Understand? Maya kalpita. This Maya, two way, the Tritiya we have. As a Karana also we can take as a Tritiya. Because of me, everything is being created. Or created by me. And therefore, I am the one who has created this entire creation. But this creation, though created, kalpitam. By Trigunaya Mayaya kalpitam. So because of the Maya, the whole creation is created. As the snake is there. And how long the snake will be there? Until and unless you know this is rope, snake is going to be there. Suppose the person is frightened, he ran away, he closed the door of the room. Understand this. Still the snake is there. Because he saw the snake, he experienced the snake, and therefore even the door is closed. For him, other side of the door, there is a snake. What he has to do? Prakasham. Mand andhakara is there, and therefore there is a snake. What he has to do? He has to remove the andhakara. He has to remove the andhakara, he needs light. And same way, here also. And therefore, the person who has understood this very clearly, that this Jagat is created from the self, but it is not real, it is not Sat, it is Asat Mithya. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, the person who has this Ittam Yasya, Ittam means in this type of the firm conviction person who has. Okay. Now, what is that understanding? Sukhatare, Nitye, Pare, Nirmale, Kalpitam. This Jagat is being Kalpitam. Where? Sukhatare, Nitye, Pare, Nirmale. Nitya. Trikala Abadhitam Nityam. Pare. Pare means Aparichinna. Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinna Chaitanya. And that Chaitanya, Nirmale Nitya Shuddha Chaitanya. Not only that. See, this is the problem. It is not only Nitya. It is not only Ananta. It is not only Nitya Shuddha. Understand? Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. Sukhatare. It is Ananda Swarupa. Sukham Atyantikam Yattat. So, Sukhatare, understand, this is a very important word we are discussing, that Atma is a Sukha Swarupa. Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma, Satchidananda Brahma. When we say Satyam means Sat, Gnanam means Chit, Ananta means Ananda. Therefore, in Chandagya Upanishad says, Alpe Sukham Nasti. Understand this. Yovai Bhuma Tat Sukham. So, here Shankaracharya says, the person who has understood himself as a Nitya, Pare, means Ananta, and Nirmala, Nitya Shuddha Chaitanya Swarup, Nirvikari, Ananta Chaitanya Swarup, and that is Sukhatare. And therefore, how this Sukhatara is possible? Why? Badhite. If this Jagat is real, it is going to hurt you. It is going to create guilt in you. There are only two types of the shoka is there in this world. One is called guilt, other is called, understand, hurt or guilt. And therefore, the person who is free from guilt and hurt, this guilt is there and hurt is there. Why? Because kartutva, bhoktrutva is there. Therefore, in Gita, Bhagavan said, Nayam hanti nahanyat. The Atma doesn't have any act of killing or any kind of action. That means Atma is free from the action. If you are performing the action, if you are the doer, you cannot avoid the guilt. And if you take yourself as a bhokta, the enjoyer, nahanyate, Bhagavan says the act of killing cannot hurt you. Understand? And therefore, sukhatare means the person is completely free from guilt and hurt. I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. Akarta abhokta atma, until and unless the person has understood oneself as akarta abhokta atma, the sukhatara, the happiness, and not bliss, understand, forget about this bliss word. Bliss has its own connotation. Bliss means heavenly sukham, heavenly enjoyment is called bliss in Christianity. And for us, the heavenly enjoyment is what? Anitya. Understand? It is anitya. Tetam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam kshine punya martya lokam vishan. And therefore, bliss is what? It is a temporary happiness. Here what we are talking is nitya sukhatare. Understand? This happiness is a nitya. It's not that you have to become happy. You are happiness. But just Swamiji used to tell, it's not I am sukhi, understand. I am sukha swarupa. So, therefore, Shankaracharya says, one who has understood I am that Ananda Swarupa, which is a Nitya Ananda Swarupa, Paren Sukhatare, which is Aparichinna, Ananta Ananda Swarupa, and it is a Nirmala, it is a Shuddha Chaitanya Swarup Ananda I am, Chandalostu Dvijostu. The person who has a very firm conviction about the self, that I am that Brahman, and he has a Gnana Nishtha, understand. He has established himself into this knowledge. That person, let his body be Chandala or his body be Dvija, he is my Guru, and that is Shankaracharya says. See, look at two ways are there. The person who is a firm conviction, he is my Guru. And that is my Manisha, my firm conviction that he is my Guru. And therefore, the person who has understood himself or herself as a Brahman, non-dual Brahman, Ananda Swarupa, he is my Guru. That means what? There is no ignorance in his buddhi. I always tell you, Guru is not your body, you understand. Guru is not a body. I always tell Guru is a buddhi. You have to find out the person whose buddhi there is no ignorance. That means enlightened person, when I say, the person is not a person, personality, understand. It is his understanding. That's why here we say badhita. For him, everything is a badhita anuvrutti. We already saw what is badhita. So everything he sees, but he sees it is not real. Suryodaya we see, sunrise we see, we know sun is not rising. That is called badhita anuvrutti. We see the blue sky, but we know there is no blueness in the sky. It is called badhita anuvrutti. You experience it, you see it, you know it is not there. And therefore, everything is being negated for whom he is my Guru. Now, the next verse is very beautiful. Understand. Adhuna Sama Shakhopanishad Gata Tattvamasiti Mahavakyasya Arthamaha. So now, in the next verse, Shankaracharya is going to talk about the Samaveda Chandogya Upanishad Mahavakya called Tattvamasi. So we'll read the third verse. Shashvannashvarameva Vishwamakhilam. Shashvannashvarameva Vishwamakhilam. Nishchitya Vacha Guroho. Nishchitya Vacha Guroho. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata. Nirvyaja Shantatmana. Nirvyaja Shantatmana. Bhutam Bhavita Dushkrutam. Bhutam Bhavita Dushkrutam Pradahata Sanvinmaye Pavake Prarabdhaya Samarpitam Swavapuhu Prarabdhaya Samarpitam Swavapuhu Ityesha Manisha Mama. Now, what is his understanding? So, through the Tattvamasi Vakya, Shankaracharya is presenting the firm understanding of the Guru. Sashvat Nashwarameva Vishwamakhilam Nishchitya. The person who has conviction, decision. What? Shashvat Nashwarameva. Shashvat means constant. Nashwara means constantly dying, constantly destroying. And this Jagat, Akhilam Vishwam, this entire creation, it constantly destroying, constantly dying, changing. It is not the same thing. You may think that this Swamini, oh, last week Swamiji was there. This is not same Swamini, understand. The body has changed, mind has changed, Indriyas have changed, knowledge also is changed. Understand? It's not same Swamini. Shashwat Nashwara. It's constantly changing. And therefore, the person who has understood this entire Jagat, that's why, see, 15th chapter, this Bhagavan has given the very beautiful Vakya. Narupamasya tatha eva upalabhyate. Whatever you say, this is book. What you saw book, what you saw Swamini in last Saturday, not the same, understand? Nas tatha eva upalabhyate. It is not available in the same form. Understand? It's changing. Tatha eva na upalabhyate. Whatever rupa, whatever name you are telling, is constantly changing. And therefore, Nashwara means constantly changing world is there. That means the person who has this nishchitya, he has decided, he has understanding that this entire world is constantly changing. But how he understood that? Vacha guroho. There is no self-knowledge by oneself itself. A lot of people think, oh, he was there in Himalaya for 20 years, there in Samadhi, he gained this knowledge. No such knowledge is available, understand? And therefore, Shankaracharya says, Vacha guroho vacha, upadeshtuhu acharyasya vacha. Until and unless you go to Guru, there is no knowledge. And that Guru also is what? He has gone to his Guru, understand? He has surrendered to his Guru. That Guru also is surrendered to his Guru. Therefore, we chant Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. The first namaskara is not of Guru, not Ishvara, Guru Parampara. Understand? Parampara is Strilinga. Therefore, all these three Visheshana, adjectives are there for this parampara. Sadashiva Samarambham, that which is started with Sadashiva. Shankaracharya Madhyamam. We don't know between this Bhagavan Shankar and Shankaracharya, there are so many other acharyas were there. We don't know. But we know Shankaracharya. And therefore, we say Shankaracharya is in middle, Madhya. So that means this is all Bahuvrihi, understand. Sadashiva Arambhe Yasya Saha Sadashiva Samarambha Guru Parampara. Shankaracharya Madhyama. Shankaracharya Madhya Yasya iti Shankaracharya Madhyama Guru Parampara. The Guru Parampara where we can see the Shankaracharya. Asmadacharya Paryantam. Asmadacharya, Mama Acharya. Asmad means Mama. Mama Acharya Paryantam, up to which? The Guru Parampara, which is up to my teacher under whom I am learning this Shastra, that Parampara I am saluting. See, in Gita also Bhagavan says, Evam Parampara Praptam. This knowledge gained through parampara only. There is no other solution. There is no Swayambhu Guru. Parampara. Evam parampara. It's a Mundaka Upanishad. Also same thing. Brahmaji is there. Prathama sambhabhuva. Understand? That Brahmaji, he has taught to Angira. Angira taught to Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja taught it to Angirasa. And Angirasa, Shaunak went there. Evam parampara. Understand? And therefore, Shankaracharya says, this knowledge cannot come by oneself. Guroho vacha. Understand? Through the learning. Vacha means here, through the learning, teaching of Guru. So therefore in Brihad Upanishad also, Atmavare Drashtavya. The goal of human life is to know the self as Brahman. And how to gain it? Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasita. Shravanam is the only means to gain the Brahmagna. And who is Guru? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Mundaka Upanishad gives two adjectives for Guru. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Who is Shrotriya? Shastram Adhite iti Shrotriya. The one who is studying the Shastra. The study is in two ways. Swadhyay pravachanabhyam na pramadita. The person who has dedicated his life in the study of the Shastra and teaching of the Shastra, he is called Shrotriya. That means what? We need the teacher who is teaching the Shastra. And Brahmanishtam, one who has established into the self as a Brahman. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, this knowledge, the person who has understood that this entire world is constantly changing, but who am I? Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata. Understand? Vimrushata. By the understanding, Alochanaya, Vimrushata means thinking. Viveka Vichara. In Shastra, it is called Viveka Vichara. Through the Viveka Vichara, the person has understood that I am that Nityam Brahma, and that Brahma is what? Nirvyaja. Nirvyaja, Nishkapata. Understand? There is no crookedness in the person. Nirvyaja Shanta Uparataha Atmana. Shanta Atmana. Atma here, Antakara. Understand? Through the mind which is pure and which is shanta and which is very clear about the understanding, he has understood what? Bhutam bhavicha dushkrutam pradahata. The person who has pradahata, person who has burnt, by the person who has burnt this all, bhuta means the atita karma. Bhavi means agami karma. Dushkrutam. Here, dushkrutam, not only papa, understand. If you take it as a papa, then what about punya? If the knowledge of the self, which is the fire, pavake, sanbinmaye pavake, understand. The knowledge of the self as a consciousness destroys this dushkrutam. Now, if you take only as a papa, then there is a problem. What about punya? Because punya is going to give you the birth. Then there is no moksha, understand? And therefore, the person who has understood that I am that akarta, abhokta, nitya shuddha chaitanya atma, and because of that knowledge, pavake, the gnanagni, Shankara Bhagavan says, gnanagni sarva karmani basmasat kurute. So, the person whose all the previous birth karmas and all the agami karmas are being destroyed. Agami karma is destroyed because he has understood that I am akarta atma, and because he is knowing himself as akarta atma, being akarta atma, whatever action he is going to perform in the future, not going to touch him. Understand? Yes, yes. Bhagavan says, Hatvasa iman lokan nakaroti nanibadhyate. Why? Because his mind is established into the self, which is akarta abhokta, and therefore whatever action in the future, after knowledge also, whatever action he is going to perform is not going to touch him at all. And all the previous birth actions are being burnt by the Gnanagni. Then what about the Prarabdha? So, Shankaracharya says, Prarabdhaya samarpitam swavapuhu ittesha manisha mama. The person has samarpitam, surrendered his upadhi to the Prarabdha. And Prarabdha karma, give me 5 minutes more, Prarabdha karma is like a mukta issue. There is a bow and there is an arrow. As long as arrow is on the bow, it is in our hand. But once the arrow is released from the bow, it is not in our hand. Same way, prarabdha karma. See, the word itself said, prakarshena arabhyate iti prarabdha. The actions which have started giving its fruit, karma phala. It has started fructifying. You cannot stop it. And therefore, the person who has understood himself as a Brahman, Sukhatara Ananda Swarupa Chaitanya, he has surrendered his body, mind, sense complex to Vapuhum is not only this still Sharira, not Sthula, Sukshma also. So, body, mind, sense complex is being surrendered to his or her Prarabdha. Now, so Krishna Bhagwan is a Bhogi. Why? There are 16,108 queens were there. Krishna Bhogi. Ram Janaka Drupau. Bhagwan Ram was the king. We talk about only 14 years of his Vanavas, understand. But after that, 10,000 years he ruled Ayodhya, understand. That we don't talk. So he was the king. Janak also was the king. Vashishtadayah, Karmarataha, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Bharadwaj, Shaunaka, they were all performing different types of the yajnas. That means, according to Prarabdha, they all have their own life. Gnane tu sarve samanaha. From the standpoint of the knowledge, all of them are the same because they have understood themselves as a Brahman, and therefore, though Prarabdha is there, the Prarabdha is depending on the everybody's previous life. And therefore, and Prarabdha Shankaracharya, Avashyam Bhavi. You cannot avoid the Prarabdha. You have to go through the Prarabdha, whether it is a good or bad, understand. Whether it is a Papa or Punya, and this body is created because of the Papa Punya. If Punya is more, Punyena Urdhvalokam Gachanti, Prashna Upanishad. Papena Adholok. If the Papa is more, the person will have the lower type of the body or lower world. Ubhabhyam Manushya Lokhe. In Manushya Loka, both Papa Punya both are there. And therefore, don't take yourself that a Gnani has a very wonderful life. Everything is pink and purple. Not possible because both Papa and Punya are there. But his firm understanding is there that because of the Prarabdha this is going on, I am Akarta Abhukta Atma, and here there is no words are there. Shankaracharya, the Tikakar says we have to add here Chandalostu, Dvijostu, Guru iti Esha Manisha Mama. This Shankaracharya says, this is my firm conviction, whether the person is a Chandala or Dvija, whatever according to his Prarabdha, he got this body, according to Prarabdha, he got this karma, still he is my Guru. So, next Saturday, we'll see further. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyorma Amrutangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Hari.
Thank you, Swaminiji. It was an excellent exposition. The crux of it was after negating all the negatables, Vikari, what remains is non-negatable, and that is me. That is the Dridhamati. Whose Dridhamati is there? He is our Guru. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. see you again on next Saturday morning.
Hello.
Viewers, thank you for attending this
Yes.
session.
Oh,
Please join the evening session of this Advaita Vedanta Tattvajnana, celebrated on account of Adi Shankaracharya Jayanti. Is 1 month long festival. Today evening we have got the role of Mimamsa Shastra in studying and understanding the Vedanta.